Alright, how's it going, everybody, or anyone who's watching? My name is Matthew. I'll be your host for today, and I'm here for the finals, the final championships of the IPA, International Pokemon Association League. So I'm against Trip right here, as I've mentioned in my team builder. If you haven't seen it, I may remember to link it in the description. I may not, though, but I don't want to talk too much before the game, but overall, it was a pretty good, it was a really good game, I think, I suppose. I don't want to spoil anything, so I won't really say anything, but it was a pretty fun game, I suppose. The only things I didn't really, not really expect, but the only things that kind of not really took me by surprise, but that came that I was like, oh, I guess it makes sense that it came, I guess, was Cobalion and Miltank. If that makes any sense, I suppose. He didn't bring the Shedinja, which obviously he wouldn't, but I was kind of hoping he would, because I want to pick that free W, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, so this is it. This is the make it or break it. This is the one of us is going to be crowned champion, and the other one is going to be a fucking loser, as we've said in the team builder. But anyways, I guess we'll just start going over it. So I'm going to end up leading off here with the Mew as he leads off with his Greninja. Mew was just decent against a few things because I could taunt Rocks getting up, and if he leads Greninja, I could go into Audino. I honestly thought he'd go for U-turn, and for a split second, I thought, yo, watch me go into Bronzong on the U-turn, get that Rocky helmet damage, but that would have been such a bad play that there's no way that's worth making. But anyways, I go into Mew right here, and I don't want to reveal the Ice Beam because obviously he's going to scout for it first anyway, so I just go for the Psyshock and a switch, which works out fine for me. Now I'm taunted, so I can't really defog on this, so I mean he's going to get Rocks up, so really my best, I might as well just try to trade Rocks with him here anyways, and I mean he's got two weaknesses to it anyways because his Miltank is not Mega Evolved, so that works out nicely for me as we get Rocks up right here. Now I go back into Mew right here, and he goes for the knockoff, which actually shows that he doesn't have a way to touch my Lantern very well. So if I brought the Lantern set I wanted to originally bring, we would have been in a good situation. So I go for Ice Beam here now because I do expect he's going to stay in now because I went for Psyshock last time. I don't get the roll. I think it was a 60% chance to kill with Ice Beam, so unfortunately we don't get the roll. So yeah, I guess a little bit unfortunate right there. But Gliscor is very, very low, which is, of course, just always nice in general. Miltank comes in. I'm going to go into Bronzong right here, and he's just going to heal up, and he's back at full, so it's not like the crit really means anything right there. I believe if I'm not mistaken, I double out here into Torrent, and the reason I double out here into Torrent is, the reason I went Bronzong in on the Miltank, actually. I suppose I should explain that first. The reason I brought Bronzong hard in on Miltank was I wanted to bait either the Gliscor to come out to try to heal, which, I mean, I think if he went into Gliscor on Bronzong expecting a Toxic, I think that would have been a bad play because he would have just lost his Gliscor. I think he has to get Gliscor in on a double if he wants it to, not be dead. So I didn't really think I was going to be thinking, but I kind of wanted to bait the Cobalion because I don't really have a whole heck of a lot of ways to deal a significant amount of damage to it because I don't have Focus Blast on Gengar because I think I mentioned in my team builder, I really fucked up a lot of the sets going into it before, so I kind of wanted damage on the Cobalion as quickly as I could, and at the same time, he does not have a switch into Tornadoes anyways. He doesn't have it. Yeah, no, all these teams that I fought, they don't have switch-ins to Tor and Gengar, which is just really nice in general, so I am able to get it in right here, and he actually shows that he's Scarf right here, which is actually pretty interesting to see. So that's actually very useful information. I'm not going to end up sacking Gengars that late game. So go for Hurricane as he brings in Flying Resist Miltank. Takes a nice 48%, and luckily enough, we don't miss. So, I mean, I don't know how that's possible, but I end up hitting 2 in a row right there, which is pretty cool right there. Greninja comes in, and I really don't want to make any overly risky plays right there. Torn is really, really good, but he's just going to go for the U-turn, and I mean, that is actually kind of annoying because it does mean that he heals up his Gliscor, which is a little bit unfortunate. I probably should have played a little bit more aggressively right there, just to prevent the Gliscor from healing, just in some way, but I do know that he can't touch Lantern other than knockoff, and right here, if I was the set that I wanted to bring, I would have actually been able to kill the Gliscor right here, right now. I think was, I think my original set was going to have a little bit of special defense anyways, but unfortunately enough, I'm not running that set, so that's actually really really sad that I didn't trust my gut, because I would have been able to kill the Gliscor 1v1 it right here with my Whirlpool Soak T-Bolt set. So actually pretty sad that I didn't bring that. He's going to, I'm going to bring Mew in here. It comes in on the knockoff. At least it doesn't come in on a taunt or anything. And like I said, the roll to kill this is 60%. I'm pretty sure he's just going to stay in here anyways on my Roost. But I mean, going off the roll and losing my Mew is definitely not worth it. So I'm just going to Roost up twice, get up to full. And I mean, I can still heal Bell. Heal Bell later, which is going to be pretty nice. Mew, Mew doesn't 1v1 Cobalion if it's poisoned, so like that's not very good. Going into Lantern prevents him from Volt switching, and it also comes in on an Iron Head. Now, what I do right here is I kind of expect him to go into Gliscor, because we've already seen that Gliscor pretty much walls Lantern anyways. So I want to catch the Gliscor coming in, so I double out here, if I'm not mistaken, into Tornadus, and doubling into Tornadus is the only real thing that I can bring in on Gliscor to threaten it anyways, because Gliscor lives a hit from Gengar from full anyways, and then just kills me back with knockoff. So if I doubled into Gengar and he went into Gliscor, which is what I'd be predicting, then that wouldn't really gain me anything, because I wouldn't really be able to stay in anyway, so it's not like I would really be gaining any momentum. So I double out here into Torn, and he's going to stay in and go for the close combat. I'm not really sure if that was a prediction on a double or if that was just to get damage on the Lantern, but he is going to be able to take out the Tornadus right there. That's not too horrible though, but because he is locked into it. Gengar is much more valuable than Tornadus in my opinion for this game, so I know I can just get a kill this, pretty much a free kill with Gengar no matter what, because he is locked into close combat. I didn't want to double into Gengar on him staying in with the Cobalion anyways, because like I said, if he did go into Gliscor, I would have lost a lot right there anyways. Going to Audino, if he's going to U-turn, which he most likely will, it's not a risk worth making at this point in the game, because I am still a little bit ahead at this point in the game, so definitely not a risk worth making when I have Regenerator and I have an Audino and all that. So he brings in Altaria right here, and I wanted to stay in because, like I said, in my team builder, I fully expected this to be a specially offensive Altaria. So I was expecting him to go for, like, it's going to sound like I'm, like, just saying this, but, like, I was expecting him to go for the Fire Blast right here anyways on the Bronzong, because the Bronzong was the obvious switch anyways. So I was definitely expecting that to be coming in. I am fully specially defensive Audino, so I was expecting that, but I actually completely forgot that I changed it to Levitate and that I wasn't Heat-Proof Bronzong. So I go into Bronzong right here because I thought I was Heat-Proof. I thought I was, because like I was heat-proof up until the last like 30 seconds before the game, so I changed it and I forgot I changed it. So I go into Bronzong saying, you know what, I am heat-proof, I may as well go into Bronzong anyways and not stay with Audino or anything. And that turns out really, really bad because, surprise, I'm not heat-proof, so that's really, really bad. So I do have to take both flamethrowers. So I need to stop like second guessing myself, and I need to prevent myself from like ever editing like a minute. I need to make sure never to edit like either the day of or like an hour before or even just like 10 minutes before. But what can you do? So Gengar comes in right here, and I think this seems like it's one of the like very pivotal points in the game is whether I'm going to predict his Cobalion or whether I'm just going to go for Sludge Wave. And like this is a really, really big move for him to make. It's a very, very important move for him to make, and I definitely see that. But the thing is, Scarf Cobalion is much more important to his team right now than Altaria, because Gengar just kills our Altaria, and I do still have the fully specially defensive Audino anyways. So having Scarf Cobalion in the back is it's a very nice reassuring thing for him to have. And Gliscor dies to Sludge Wave plus Shadow Ball anyways. If I'm not mistaken, like it still does a lot. He's not specially defensive, like it still does a lot of damage if I'm not mistaken. I think not running enough special attack on Mew guaranteed kill with Ice Beam was really bad on my part, because they just kind of slapped Ice Beam on, saying, yo, this will be good. But anyways, all that aside, there was him bringing in Cobalion on Gengar is not a, like, in my opinion, it's not a good play. It's not a play worth risking, especially with something like Cobalion, which is really, really important. So for that reason, I just go for Sludge. I like, at the very beginning of this turn, I actually was going to click Shadow Ball, but then I actually assessed the turn, and I'm like, yeah, that's definitely not a play that's worth him risking. So for that reason, my best play is to go for Sludge Wave. If he went into Cobalion, I wouldn't agree with that play first of all, but then after that, it would be kind of a, oh, my audio keeps dying on me. Oh my god. But anyways, after that, it would be kind of a 50-50 what move he'd be able to go for anyway, so it's really not worth it. At this point, he really can't afford to go for U-turn. That would be a really aggressive play that I don't think he could manage, so Audino's pretty safe. And he gets a crit with the Dark Pulse, which is a little bit unfortunate. Now, what I do right here, it's become kind of like a meme, me not Mega Evolving Audino. It's become kind of like a joke anyways, but like, a lot of times I don't Mega Evolve because, like, yo, I want to keep that Regenerator, am I right? And I mean, that's a lot of times kind of not really a very good reason. And I guess a lot of people, I understand why people would think that's kind of a dumb reason. And a lot of times I would just kind of do it for style points. Like in my game against Brett, I did like I didn't Mega Evolve on the Outrage just for fun. But so a lot of times it's just kind of for style, and a lot of times it's just for gotta get that Regenerator, yo. But this turn right here, I don't Mega Evolve and I go for Dazzling Gleam. There's a few reasons I go for it. I think like this is one of the plays I actually feel like I really want to justify, because I feel like it is important to explain. I know he's going to try to stay in on my, or at least I'm under the assumption he's going to try to stay in on my Wish anyways to try to heal up, right? Like, it makes sense that he tries to stay in because he has a Gliscor anyways. So it makes sense he'd try to stay in and either pressure me to Mega Evolve, pressure me to Protect so he get the switch next turn, pressure me just in general. So it makes sense that he'd try to stay in because, like, I usually don't Mega Evolve to try to keep Regenerator, as you know. Like I said, it's become kind of a meme, but like I said, I expect him to just stay in and go for Dark Pulse. Now, I know I'm eventually, if I am able to kill the this thing anyways, I have to switch out on the Gliscor regardless. So like if I switch out on the Gliscor and I'm at like the amount of HP I'm at right now, then I'm going to be pretty much useless. So I kind of want to keep Regenerator just for when I do have to switch out on Gliscor. But the reason I don't Mega Evolve and go for Dazzling Gleam, I don't go for a healing move or anything else, is because Dazzling Gleam, non-stab Dazzling Gleam from Mega Audino, puts Greninja in range of Stealth Rocks plus Ice Beam from Mew, and Mew guaranteed lives a Dark Pulse from the Greninja that he is. I calculate damages, he's not a attack boosting, he actually ends up to be Scarf Greninja in the end anyways, but he's not a attack boosting, he likes running Scarf on his Greninja, which is kind of funny I suppose, but he's, like, I calc to make sure he's not like Specs or anything, so Mew guaranteed lives, and I did a bunch of calcs before I made this play anyways, but guaranteed it dies to Dazzling Gleam, non-stab Dazzling Gleam, even min-roll non-stab Dazzling Gleam, plus Stealth Rocks damage, plus a Ice Beam from Mew. So it was my safest, it was pretty much my best play, and that was the reason I made this play. So I just stay in, I don't Mega Evolve, so I can switch on Gliscor in a few turns after, and I can get the Dazzling Gleam and get the enough damage off on the Greninja that I need pretty much to let Mew be able to deal with it. But unfortunately, he's actually going to flinch me with the Dark Pulse. So now I'm forced to Mega Evolve right here, as he's just going to stay and go for another Dark Pulse. And he's going to flinch me right here again. So I've got one last turn to not get flinched to get a Wish off. And he flinches me. So really quickly, I want to say, really quickly, I want to say the chances of this happening, so him getting a crit, him getting a flinch, him getting another flinch, and him getting a third flinch, give me a sec, and a third flinch in a row over there is 0.0027, which turns out, of course, to be less than 1%. So that's like a third of that's like almost, that's actually closer to a quarter. It's like a quarter of 1%. So it's not even a 1% chance to happen. So all things aside, that's actually just crazy that that even happened. So like that's not even a 1% chance to happen. That's crazy. But anyways, I guess I'll finish it off so we can see. I do end up forfeiting. I don't feel bad for forfeiting. I think that's a completely justified way to forfeit. It looks like I forfeited like directly after it happened out of like sheer pure rage, but like if you don't believe me, you can ask Trip. I took like 10 to 15 minutes just after that last flinch before I did anything, because I want to take a lot of time to see if there was any possible way to win. So if there's no possible way to win, then that's stupid. I'm not just going to bring in each mon, let them die just so I can kind of lose as a result of that. I don't want to Theorymon too much. It's not really fair when you Theorymon about losing. I don't think, even if it is to hacks, even if it's, I don't know, like I don't want to say it is and I don't want to say it isn't. I obviously have my opinions about the game. I'm obviously a little bit salty about it, and I don't know. I just kind of want to keep my position in the league in mind before I say anything. So I'm not really going to go into theory about it, but I am going to say why I forfeited. And like I said, there was no possible way to win the game at that point. So I went over a whole bunch of damage calcs, and there, like I said, there wasn't any possible way to win the game. So this died right here. I say I go into Lantern the next turn. Lantern's really the only thing I could go into anyway. So let's say I go into Lantern, and let's say I Scald on the Gliscor coming in. We saw before that, first of all, that doesn't 2-hit KO Gliscor. Even not after rocks, not with Poison Heal, and not with a crit, not even with a double crit. Even if I double crit with Scald, it still doesn't kill Gliscor. If I go into Lantern and then double into Gengar on the Gliscor coming in, Gliscor guaranteed lives any one hit that I have from my Gengar set, because, like I said, I kind of screwed up the set kind of last minute. So I'd Shadow Ball, it would live, he would kill me with Knockoff. That doesn't really accomplish very much anyways after that. If I go into Lantern and then double into Mew, first of all, Cobalion lives any one hit, so in theory he could bring that in. Greninja guaranteed lives because my only attacking move is Ice Beam. He could hard switch into that. He wouldn't even need to, actually. He could sack Gliscor if he wanted to a Mew Ice Beam, bring in Greninja next turn, kill off Mew, because I couldn't switch into Lantern because I get 2-hit KO'd by Dark Pulse, and then he could get Dark Pulse damage off and then like finish me off with Cobalion. I don't know, like it's just like I calced pretty much every option that I had available to make, and there was no possible way to win the game. So I wasn't just going to finish, like I wasn't going to play out the rest of that just because that's a dumb way to play out the rest. Like I don't know, that's my opinion. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's just my opinion on it, and I don't feel bad for forfeiting. I feel like it was justified happening, and yeah, that was the game, I suppose. I think someone said a little while ago that, like, I think I was talking to someone in the comments on one of my earlier videos, and they're like, yo, you should put yourself in a situation where you have to Mega Evolve on the very last turn of the game. So there you go, buddy. I had to Mega Evolve on the pretty much very last turn of the game. Yeah, so anyways, that was the game. It was still a fun game. I really enjoyed this game up until turn 29. It was a really good game up until turn 29. I wish I hadn't made the changes to my team that I did, but I mean, what can you do? But yeah, that's basically it, and I guess I'll hopefully have better luck in Season 2.